Hello. Last week, we started by looking at words. I told you there were 9 jobs a word can do in a sentence, and we met the first of the words at work. This one here, Norman Noun. Remember him? Well, now it's time to meet another of these words at work, Vera Verb.
Whenever you find a word, you'll find a word at work. Whenever you find a word, you'll find a word at work.
Words can name.
Words can happen. Words can describe and compare.
Words can stand in place of others. Words can tell you how, when, and where. Words can point. Words can help.
Words can link. Words can yell.
Ooh! Whenever you find a word, you'll find a word at work. Whenever you find a word, you'll find a word at work.
Yabba dabba doo!
This is the wonderful world of words with your host, Miss Gloria Garbo.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to the wonderful world of words. I'm Gloria and I'm here to introduce some of the personalities behind English grammar. Well, now it's time to meet an extremely important word at work. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to meet a very active young lady indeed, Vera Verb.
Hello, Gloria. It's great to be here.
Well, hello, Vera. It's great to have you here. Now, I believe that you're a happening kind of person. Your words are doing words.
That's right. Perhaps I could demonstrate a few of my verbs.
Well, that would be wonderful.
Well, there's standing, climbing, balancing. Oh, I can jump, run, bounce, and collapse in a heap. Oh.
Oh, Vera, that's marvellous. Now, would you like to
there are so many lovely verbs. It's difficult to choose which ones to do. How about dancing? Or I could juggle. I can eat. Drink. I could read. Wonderful world of verbs. I can write. Or I could draw.
Vera,
or
please, Vera.
Oh.
I mean, we're all enjoying your verbs very much, but I think we've got the idea now. Would you like to sit down again? I'd like to ask you a few more questions.
Of course. Sitting is a verb, you know.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, that was a wonderful display of verbs, Vera. But I believe that all your verbs have something called tense. Perhaps you could tell us a little about this.
Oh, yes, indeed. The tense of a verb is very important indeed. It tells you when the verb happens, past, present, or future. You see, when you're actually doing something like I'm talking to you now, the verb is in the present tense. But when something happened in the past, the verb is in the past tense, and that affects the way you write it. Past tenses often end in ed. May I demonstrate? Earlier in the show, I stood and climbed and balanced. I jumped, ran, bounced, and collapsed in a heap. Finally, I danced, juggled, ate, drank, read, wrote, and drew. Those were past tense verbs. Now let me tell you about the future.
No, sorry, Vera, I'm afraid we don't have time for that. Well, I must say that is one of the most active interviews I've ever done. I'm exhausted just watching you. Tell me, Vera, what do you do when you need a little relaxation?
Oh, well, sometimes I just like to be. Perhaps I could demonstrate. I am...
So she is. Well, there you have her, ladies and gentlemen, Vera Verb. Her verbs are words of doing and being, the words that show you what's happening in a sentence. And let's all be grateful that she sometimes settles down and just is for a little while. Shh. No applause, please.
What's doing? What's brewing? What in heaven's name is construing? What's doing? That word's a verb. When something's happening, that word's a verb.
So, that was Vera verb, a very important word at work. No sentence would be complete without its verb. Excuse me, a customer. Good morning, sir, and welcome to my humble phrase maker's workshop. What can I do for you today?
I'm told you can help me expand a word into a phrase.
I most certainly can. That's what phrase making's all about. Building on words to give extra meaning. What sort of word did you have in mind?
It's a verb.
A verb, a really happening sort of word, yeah? And you want me to make your verb into a verb phrase. It'd be a pleasure. Which particular verb is it?
It's sing.
Sing! Ah, a lovely verb. There we are. Sing. And what sort of verb phrase did you have in mind?
Oh, well, I'm not absolutely sure. To tell you the truth, I'm not absolutely sure what a verb phrase is.
Why didn't you say so? Let me explain. You know that words are the basic raw material that we need to make a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And each word is responsible for its own little chunk of meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, take sing, for instance. Sometimes you can add a bit on to the end of the word to give it extra meaning. There you are, a longer chunk. Singing. La la da da la 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 la.
Yes.
But the English language doesn't use word endings all that often. Generally, we use groups of words to make bigger chunks of meaning. Like this. There you are. Is singing. Or there's the future. You always need extra words when you talk about the future. There you go. Will sing. There are loads and loads of verb phrases that can be made based on the one verb. Let's make a nice long one. There you are. Would have been singing.
You mean a phrase is just a group of words working together?
Yes, and a verb phrase is a group of words working together like one verb. We need them a lot in English.
But that's nothing special. I put words together like that all the time. It just comes naturally.
Yes, but you didn't know you were doing it, did you? And you didn't know they were called verb phrases, did you?
Well, I never thought about it really.
Well, now you can think about it. So which verb phrase are you going to have?
I think I'll take will sing.
An excellent choice, if I may say so. Will sing. There you are. A lovely little verb phrase, that. Now, here's another one. Will pay. Oh, you will pay me £5, please?
There you go.
Thank you very much indeed, sir.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And now I will sing.
If you got a word that you want to expand, let me give you a helping hand. I'm the phrase maker. A word alone's under the weather. Words work best when they work together with the phrase maker. Don't make those phrases without a care. In writing it pays to be aware. When you build a phrase, it's a latest craze. We'll build a phrase, it's all the rage with a phrase maker. With the phrase maker.
Build those crazy phrases.
Now you've met two of the words at work, the noun and the verb. They're two of the most important parts of speech. We really couldn't manage without them. But other words all have their job to do too. The pronoun, for instance. You'll notice that the word pronoun has a certain similarity to the word noun. A family resemblance, perhaps? Time to meet this young cool dude. Percy pronoun.
Whenever you find a word, you'll find a word at work. Whenever you find a word, you'll find a word at work.
Words can name,
Words can happen.
Words can describe and compare.
Words can stand in place of others. Words can tell you how, when, and where. Words can point. Words can help.
Words can link.
Words can yell.
Ooh! Whenever you find a word, you find a word at work. Whenever you find a word, you find a word at work.
Yabba-dabba-doo!
This is the wonderful world of words with your host, Miss Gloria Garbo.
Thank you, and welcome back. My second guest today is a young man who's following in his father's footsteps. You've already met Norman Noun, the celebrated naming word at work. Well, now it's time to welcome a chip off the old block, as it were, Norman's son, Percy Pronouns. Well, hello there, Percy. It's lovely to meet you.
Hi, Gloria. It's cool to be here. But this Percy thing, Percy's the name my dad gave me. It's a not very street cred, you know what I mean? I prefer to call myself I or me.
Really? So you are me,
I am me.
but I am me. And from where I'm sitting, you are you.
Yeah, that's it. I am me, and you are you, and he is he, and we are all together. Get it?
Oh, I understand. Those are some of your pronouns, aren't they? I, he, you, we, me.
Yeah, well, cool words. You know, they can stand in place of any noun in a sentence. You know, my old man Norman, he's okay, but some of his nouns can get a bit too much sometimes, you know what I mean?
You mean if we had to repeat the same noun over and over again, it could get boring?
Yeah, too right it could. Look, let me read you a bit from a book with just my dad's nouns, no pronouns. See how boring his nouns can be. Okay, this is the beginning of a really neat kid's story called Alice in Wonderland. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by Alice's sister on the bank and of having nothing to do. Once or twice, Alice had peeped into the book Alice's sister was reading, but the book had no pictures or conversations in the book.
Yes, I see what you mean. That noun Alice gets a bit repetitive over and over again.
Yeah, and the book. I mean, just too much, yeah? Now, listen to how much cooler it sounds with a few of my pronouns in place of the nouns. Okay, here goes. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank and of having nothing to do. Once or twice, she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it.
Yes, I see. Your pronouns make it sound so much better, less repetitive. When you want to refer to Alice, you can say her and she, and when you want to refer to the book, you can say it.
You've got it. My pronouns can stand in place of. Now, watch. Him, her, it, them, that, this. Much less hassle.
Yes, but you're using the same pronoun for different things. I mean, if we just called everything it and all females her, wouldn't we get a bit mixed up? It's like that me and you thing we had earlier. I am me and you are you. But to you, you are me and I am you. It can get a bit confusing.
You sound just like my dad. I mean, names, names, names. That's all he's interested in. I mean, it's just too uncool for words, yeah?
All the same, I do like to know what somebody's talking about. I mean, I can see the point of your pronouns, Percy. They are very useful. But I think we need a balance. Some nouns, some pronouns. Oh dear, I think I've hurt his feelings. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to say goodbye from me, Gloria, and him, Percy Pronoun. See you next week.
There's no noun we can't replace. There's no noun we can't replace. Talking about this and that.
Talking about him and her.
Talking about you and me.
Talking about pronouns.
There's no noun we can't replace. There's no noun we can't replace. There's no noun we can't replace.
They're cool, man.
Yes, well, as Gloria said, Percy's pronouns can be very useful words, but like him, they can be a bit vague. Even when people are talking, they can get into a muddle if they aren't sure which noun a particular pronoun is standing in for. Here, you'll see what I mean.
Yes, it's this one here. It turns on all right, but there's no water coming out.
No problem, darling. We'll have that fixed for you in a minute. Beautiful day, eh?
Yes, gorgeous.
These 3 years, then?
Yes. Aren't they lovely?
Lovely. 2 girls and a boy. Lovely.
Goodness. That's clever of you to be able to tell. Most people can't tell the difference without looking very closely. Are you an expert?
No, they just look like 2 girls and a boy.
You must be a very clever person. I think you know more about them than you're letting on. Have you got any of your own?
No.
You should get some, you know. My husband wasn't very keen on the idea at first, but he soon came round once he'd got to know them.
Really?
Yes, when I first brought them home, he wanted me to take them back. But after a few weeks, I get used to them. And now, he wouldn't be without them. He plays with them every night when he comes home from work, holding them upside down and letting them run all over him with their little feet.
Jings.
Oh, but it's not all fun. No, there are problems. You see, they can get awfully smelly.
Smelly? Well, can you not just put them in the bath?
Gosh, no. You can't put them in water. You might kill them. No. As long as I make sure they've got fresh bedding every day, they keep themselves clean, really. How you getting on?
What? Oh, I think I've fixed it. Just needs a good thump with a mallet to get the water started. Trouble is, it's a two-handed job because I'll need to hold this down. Could you give me a hand?
Sure. What is it you want me to do?
Right, you take the mallet. Now, when I nod my head, you hit it.
When you nod your head, I hit it.
That's right. Okay. Oh.
Goodness, it worked. Oh, I didn't think it would, really. He really is a very clever man.
That's pronouns then. Very useful, but they can lead to misunderstandings. Always make sure people know which noun your pronoun refers to. See you next week when we'll meet some more words at work. Bye.
Whenever you find a word, you'll find a word at work. Whenever you find a word, you'll find a word at work.
Words can name.
Words can happen. Words can describe and compare.
Words can stand in place of others. Words can tell you how, when, and where. Words can point. Words can help.
Words can link. Words can yell.